Today I'm going to be doing a book review video, and I have 6 books. Now the last book I'm going to show you, I didn't finish it, but I really want to, I know like the synopsis of it, and it is really good. I'll show you it, because next week, or the week after that, I'm going to be starting doing a themed book review video, which is going to have a lot of Christmas books in it that I've had for a very long time, since probably the summer. And I like to read, like, if there's like a specific genre, I like to do theme book reviews. If it's for a holiday, I like to read them during that holiday period. So let's get right into it. So this book is by Sherryl Woods. It's called Harbor Lights. It's a Chesapeake Shores novel. It's the 3rd book in the series. This is what it looks like. And if you haven't seen Chesapeake Shores on the Hallmark Channel, you should. I mean, it's not on right now because the season ended in October, but it is a really good series. Now, the one thing is that if you read the books, or if you watch the show and then you read the books or whatever, they are not like the books. The books aren't like the show, so there's, like, it won't give you any spoilers or anything. The main characters are the same, and the supplementary characters are the same, but the only thing that's different is the fact that it doesn't really go along with the storyline of the show. But yeah, so each book in the series, I guess, is about one of the family members in the family of the O'Briens. The first book was about Abby O'Brien, where she met Trace again after coming back to Chesapeake Shores to help her sister. The second book was about Brier and how she came back to Chesapeake Shores and opened up a flower shop, and she rekindled her relationship with a past flame. And the third book is about Kevin O'Brien, where his wife Georgia died in Iraq in the war, and now he has to raise his son, and he's dealing with the grief of that. And this one was really, it wasn't really sad, but it really does tug on the heartstrings a little bit, and he meets up with this other woman who helps him through it, and she can kind of relate to the situation a little tiny bit. They're really good books. I mean, each book is different. Like, it's not about the same exact thing. Now, this book I'm going to show you, this one is a book that, it's not a book that you want to sit down and read all day long, especially if you don't like the topic. It's kind of like a biography kind of thing, but it's kind of like a theory too. It's called The Murder of Tutankhamen, or as he's better known as King Tut, the Egyptian pharaoh. And it's by Bob Brier, he has a Ph.D, so I guess he's a doctor. And this is what it looks like. And basically what this book is about, it's basically about how Bob came up with this theory that King Tut was murdered instead of whatever they said that he died from or whatever. And in the process, like the first couple chapters, he talks about like how you get to King Tut. So it talks about like some history, and then it gets into King Tut's life, and then it talks about what happened after he died, what happened to his widow. And there's some pictures in it. Now, the pictures are in black and white. They're not, like, colored or anything. And there's, like, some pictures of, like, mummies and stuff. It was an okay book. Like, it really wasn't, the weirdest thing was that in the first chapter, I think it was the first chapter, of the introduction, he talked about his theory about what happened to King Tut, like how he got murdered, or if he got murdered. But it's like, if you just said in the beginning of the book, and then why do you have to go through all this to figure out whatever? I don't know. It was an okay book. It really wasn't that great. Especially if, I mean, I like learning about history stuff. I'm like a history nerd. But if you don't really like that, then you don't want to read it. And it's really, when they talk about how they make the body into a mummy, that part's really graphic. So if you're really squirmish about that, or if you're squirmish about anything like that, I highly recommend you don't read that book. I mean, I'm not squirmish or anything. It was just kind of weird to read about it. So, this book, it's a series. It's a royal mystery, Tunbridge Wells mystery series. I got all these books that you see here at book sales or library book sales or whatever. And this one's called The Final Crumpet, or Crumpet, however you say it. It's by Ron and Janet Benrey. I guess that's how you say their last name. And this is what it looks like. It takes place, obviously, in England. It's about this man and this woman. The man is English or British or however you want to say it. And the person he works with that eventually turns into his, like, romance is an American. And she comes to work at this, she was working with him. She has, I guess, a Ph.D. in certain things, and she's there to study and learn the history of tea, because of course that's like one of the main staples over there in England. And in the process of doing that, they find out that a dead body, has been buried in their tea plants. And they're trying to figure out why and who did it. It's a really good book. And they do say why it's called The Final Crumpet. So if you don't understand why it's called that or whatever, you have to wait until the very end to figure out why. Because the word crumpet has a significantly different meaning than the word of, like, a tea cake or whatever you want to call it. Now, I know some people call them crumpets, some people call them crumpets. I don't know if there's, like, a real big difference. I mean, I guess it's like, if you're in England, you call them this, and if you're here, you call them something different. So, to keep with the British theme, or English theme, or whatever you prefer, this is called At Home with the Royal Family being the Windsor family, with Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, and it's by Paul James and Peter Russell. Now, I'm guessing, these two men are people that worked for the royal family, and this is what the book looks like. It looks like it's a small book. It really is, but the chapters are very long in it. The last, like, 200 and some pages are mostly, like, footnotes and books and different, like, an index and stuff. It doesn't have any, like, pictures, like, you know how sometimes when you read biographies or something, there's, like, pictures in the book. There is pictures, like I said, in the Tutankhamen book, but not in this one for some reason. You'd think that there'd be, like, pictures of, like, some staff members or something. So, this book is very detailed, so if you really like exact details about everything, like how they set up for a banquet, or where the people sit, or all the different types of royal guards she has, you know, whatever. It's very, very, very detailed, and the chapters are very long, like I said. There's only, hold on. There's only 7 chapters in this book, and it only goes up to 192, because that's the 192 starts the appendixes. And it basically talks about, like her royal coach and how she travels and her clothing, the royal household, stuff like that. It's a really good book, but it's very, 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 very detailed. So like I said, if you don't like that kind of book that's like really dry or whatever, you really don't want to read it. So this book, now this guy, he does write about death a lot, and I've read, I think I've read all, or maybe some of the books that he wrote. I read a few of them, and this is one that I got, and I don't know how you say his last name. It's by Mitch Albom, and it's For One More Day, and this is what it looks like. And basically, it's about this man that he meets. Now, they're not like this all the time, like, he'll meet a guy and he'll write his story about this guy. It's basically, this is the one. It's kind of like an autobiographical kind of thing, almost, kind of. It's about this man named Charlie, but everybody calls him Chick. And Mitch meets this guy at a baseball game. And he tells Mitch his story about how he tried to kill himself. And it goes on like this like spiritual journey where it's kind of like he's a ghost, but he's not because he's alive. But then he meets his like dead mother and stuff. And in between, like, there's not really, like, there's, like, 4 different parts in it, but there's no real chapters. Like, each chapter, or however, or scene you want to call it, has, like, some kind of, like, journal entry that he had, or some kind of, like, letter. And then some of them say like, titles on them, some don't. It goes back and forth between, he'll talk about the past, and then he talks about, him in the present, thinking about his mom and stuff. It's kind of weird, but you have to remember, like, he's going back and forth stuff. It's a really good book. I really liked it. So this is a book, like I was saying, that I didn't finish yet, but I know the concept of it. And this is a series, it's called the Book Retreat Mystery Series, and it's Murder in the Mystery Suite. It's by Ellery, I guess that's how you say her name, Adams, or his name, I guess it's a woman, and this is what it looks like. And this is about this woman who runs this little resort. Well, it's not a little resort, it's like a medium-sized resort, I guess. And she has this idea to come up with this thing in October where everybody dresses up like different detectives from different books, like Sherlock Holmes and Miss Marple from the Agatha Christie books and stuff like that. And in the process, they were doing this contest, and whoever won this contest, the scavenger hunt, won a book. And this book, her great aunt actually almost died from, because she gave them the wrong copy to give to the man who won. And the reason why she wants the other copy that the guy has is because there's like a note from the author of this book. And they mention a lot of different detective books and authors in these books too. So it's a really fun book. And on the other hand, there was this, they're trying to find this, and somebody dies in this book in the mystery suite, which is, they call it the mystery suite because in the room there's book jackets, framed book jackets of different detective novels all around the room and stuff. But it's a really good book so far. I really enjoy it. So that's all I have to show you guys for this week. I hope you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time with another video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.